Hi everybody, welcome to another video. I am so excited because today I'm going to be telling you guys what you need to know before you go to China. Now let me tell you, I have been to China a few times and I'm from Canada, so my first time going, it was very weird because everything about China is so different from here in Canada. I'm going to try to prepare you for different temperatures, different situations that you may be put into while you are traveling to China. Again, this is probably a video targeted to people who have never been to China before. However, if you have been to China or you live in China, just, I guess, enjoy the video if you want to continue watching. Let's get started. So, probably like traveling wise, the first thing that you need to know is you need to have a visa to go to China, and you need to have the proper visa and do your research about the visas. Okay? Another thing traveling wise you need to know is the outlets are different. Make sure you have this kind of outlet because otherwise you will not be able to charge your phones. Actually, except for if you just have like a two-prong little guy. Let me just show you. If you have a two-prong little guy, this is fine. You can plug these in. But if you have a three-pronger, you know, like, okay, this is for the North America people, okay? If you have like a three-pronger, those can not be plugged into anywhere in China. But if you have this two-prong, it can be. Everybody else who's not from North America, ignore that and just get a how do you say? Converter. Just get a converter for your electronic charging devices. Okay, squat toilets are a thing. They are a very big thing and you will find them everywhere. Yes, at first, for me anyway, it was very intimidating. I got off at the Beijing airport on my very first time going to China and I just wanted to go use the bathroom in the airport. And I thought in the airports, you know, they're probably gonna have Western toilets. At the time I didn't know, yes there is, but I got stuck with a stall that was a squat toilet and it was my very first time ever using a squat toilet. So that was just a very interesting experience. Let's just say. To go along with that, you should always bring around toilet paper with you. And hand sanitizer, because there's not often soap inside of the washrooms for you to wash your hands. If you are a foreigner and you look like a foreigner, people will look at you and stare at you, depending on what city you go to, okay? If it's a very internationalized city, this might not happen. But if you're in a smaller city or one that doesn't have a lot of foreigners, people will stare at you, ask to take your photo, etc., etc. It's a very thrilling experience. And yes, I like the attention, and so I go along with it. Something that I absolutely love about China is the fact that whenever you go to public parks or even just like open areas, you will always find people singing and dancing, even like at night. It's absolutely incredible. I don't think I've ever had such a wholesome experience except for when I go to these parks and I just see these people dancing and getting along and they're just talking and smiling and it's so beautiful. And you're in like this lovely like park area, so everything's green, there's water and lakes everywhere and people are singing and dancing, and honestly it's just amazing. So just take lots of walks, okay? So another thing that you need to keep in mind is that people in China as pedestrians do not have the right of way. And so when you are crossing the streets or you are walking on the road, please be very mindful of everything around you and do not take any sudden moves, because I feel like everybody in China thinks like 10 steps ahead because they're all watching, they're all aware of everything around them. The drivers, the people on motorcycles, all of the pedestrians, they know everything that is happening around them. And I think in North America we don't really do that much. We just cross the street whenever we want to because the cars have to stop. It's not like that in China. They will not stop for you. And so please do not make any sudden moves or you will cause an accident. We need to follow the locals. So another thing, as a Canadian, I like to think I'm pretty chill. However, China's not always like that. People are very hustle bustle, like let's get this mission done, okay? Everyone's on a mission, they're there to accomplish it, and they do it quickly and efficiently. You're gonna see a lot of food delivery men on the streets. They truly are on a mission. They gotta be places real quick. Do not get in their way. They will be zooming past you real fast, okay? The roads are gonna be hectic. People drive a lot differently in China. Again, this depends mostly about the cities because in some of the cities I went to, people don't really care about the lights. A lot of people don't care about lanes. They're driving in between. It's a little crazy, but you get used to it real fast. Something that I personally don't like I just don't like waiting in line. I'm not that kind of person. I hate lines. However, there will be a lot of them, especially if you're waiting for a train. Rush hour is not my friend. I don't like rush hour. I will not travel in rush hour anymore. I have decided that officially because I do not like lines and a lot of people surrounding me. But you know what? It's actually quite the experience. It's quite thrilling. It's fun. I've just decided that it's not my cup of tea. So I'ma travel an hour after rush hour. That's fine with me. Just expect to wait in line is basically what I'm saying. And if you are being a tourist, as anyone going to China for the first time is, remember to take your passport to any tourist attraction because you will need your passport to get in. You cannot use ID, you can't get in without a passport. That's basically it. Just take your passport. Okay, so quickly let's talk about the weather. Depending on where you're going, again, there's a lot of like depends here, but for me, whenever I travel in the summer, it is very hot everywhere that I've traveled in the summertime in China. And I was in the south, I was in the north. Like, it's just hot. The sun is strong. My piece of advice is bring an umbrella. You will use it. Whether it is sunshine, whether it is raining, you will use an umbrella a lot. What's really nice actually about China is that you can walk into a lot of different stores and they will have umbrellas with like an SPF layer. So it really protects against your skin. I also recommend like a really big one just in case, because also sometimes there's like really heavy rain. And if you have just like a small umbrella, sometimes like the rain will still like get on you a lot. I don't know. Big umbrella with SPF is my advice. Again, you don't really need to take that. I just like protecting my skin a lot from the sun too. Okay, so let's say you are shopping now. A lot of the times, like if you're shopping on a street, it's a bit different from a mall. Like in a mall, it's gonna be pretty like calm or whatever. Again, depends on the location, but it's pretty calm and then you like walk into the shops. But the way that the employees act towards you is a little bit different than they do in North America. What I mean by that is once you go into the shops, they will basically like follow you around, kind of. I don't really know the incentive behind that, but I do think it's just like a method to try to sell to people. Like if they see you're looking at something, a lot of the times they'll say like, oh, this one's really nice because blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's quite kind of like a reason for it, but I don't really know, so I'm not gonna make any claims here. But if you're shopping like outside, something that I find that is absolutely like so funny and so cool to me is that people will be yelling from all different locations around you, front, beside, backwards, like everywhere there is yelling. And if it's not yelling, there's like clappers. Like, you know, they do the thing. And if there's not clappers, they will have like giant speakers outside of their store talking about all of the deals that they have. It's really entertaining and quite funny, but like, I think it's just a method to get your attention. Like, it's just a matter of like, be loud so people look in your direction. So I want to quickly talk about the food culture in China. Not necessarily food culture, but more like eating out kind of thing. Let's say you're walking down the street in China and you're hungry. It'll take you T-minus 20 seconds to find a place to eat. Probably could be like a little mom and pop little shop, or it could be a restaurant, but you will find something very easily. If you're in Canada, for example, like in my city, that is not an option. Like, so in China, if you go to like a restaurant or one of those like small little mom and pop shops, then the entire experience isn't about the experience like it is in North America. In North America, when you go out to eat, it's all about the experience. You expect great service. The food isn't the main priority. Like it's about going out and like spending time with your friends and family. It's an occasion when you go out to kind of eat. Whereas in China, the focus is on the food, not the experience. So you can't expect like class A service from the people because they are busy a lot of the times. So they will bring you your food and they'll go away. They won't come and check on you. You'll have to go, hello, 服务员, like, hello, waiter. The concept is a little bit different. Whereas like here in North America, we focus a lot about the experience as a whole. I think China focuses more about the food, which is also why I really love the food so much, because it's like no matter where you go, the food is just really good. Yeah. One quick thing to mention is please don't tip them. Don't do it. I know it's very common in Western culture, but it is not in China, okay? That's all I'll say. Okay, so another thing is that there's underground markets in a lot of cities. I find that in the south, there's not as many underground markets, but occasionally there are. But in northern China, central China, there's quite a few. Basically, in these underground markets, you will find a lot of knockoffs, cheap items, and these are the places where you can bargain. Another thing about bargaining too is like, just know what an item is worth to you. Feel it. You can try things on, like, just kind of know what it's worth to you, because I feel like if you're visibly a foreigner, I think like the shop owners will take note of that and they will use that to try to increase the prices sometimes. I just stick with what I know is what the item is worth to me, even if it is more than what a local would pay. If I know what it's worth to me, then I'm okay with paying a little bit of a higher price than a local. if I don't know about it, okay? After a while of bargaining and like looking in underground shops, like you'll eventually find the places that you know are good quality and good pricing for you and like what your habits are and what you like. So again, coming back to the temperature thing, in the summer, it can get literally so hot that I've like never experienced that kind of heat before. Literally just like last week here in Canada, it was minus 40 degrees for like a week and a half. Like, I'm not used to plus 35. There is no way I can do plus 35, but I had to survive that somehow. And how did I do it? Well, I took naps and lots of showers and rested. You have to realize like your human body can only do so much, and if you're not used to a certain like way of doing things, or you're not used to a certain temperature, you need to like chill for like a sec, you know? So yeah, the heat can really get to you. So just like go indoors as much as possible, know your own limits, and take naps. Honestly, that really was a savior. My point is don't feel bad about doing things that you don't do at home, because sometimes your body needs a certain thing. Okay, now probably my biggest thing that I recommend that you do when you travel to China is get away from the main streets and get away from the main tourist attractions, because that is when you see the real China. A lot of the times, like, people will go on these tours and it's just going to tourist attractions, which is great. Like, you get to see so much history and you get to see like the people, and like you still get to see the culture and everything, but it's when you go and see the remote areas of the cities or the remote cities themselves, that's when you find out what the real China's like. Like, that's when you find out how Chinese people live. So I just think like that's the most interesting part of traveling there. I absolutely love just like taking day trips to tiny cities next to the city I'm in. Or even something that I would do as well is I would go on the subway and I would get off at a random stop. I would have no idea what was there. Like, I didn't do any research. I just got off at a stop, went up, and I explored. And that's when you really kind of get to see like different parts of China. And everywhere that you go, it seems like there's life. So it's exciting that way too, because there is going to be something to see no matter where you are. Another thing I recommend is use the high-speed train as much as you can before you leave China. So I just said that I took a lot of day trips, and the reason I was able to do that was because of the high-speed rails. They would take you so fast from one place to another, so you can go pretty far from the main city in just an hour and go to a tinier city just to explore. I don't know, I just think like seeing the most of China is so cool. For example, like, how is Changchun different from Harbin? Well, Changchun is pretty close, like it was like 2 hours away only, but that city is like really close to North Korea. And so the vibe is a little bit different than it is in Harbin, which is closer to Russia. So Harbin has a lot of Russian influence. Changchun has a lot of like Korean influence, kind of. 2 hours by high-speed rail makes such a difference in what you can experience and what you can see. Now imagine like going like this way and this way and this way and this way. Like, you will be able to see so much, and it's absolutely incredible. And you'll also find some of your favorite cities, some of your favorite people by doing this. So yeah. Okay, so I think that's all of like the things that I can think of right now. I can't like think of much other stuff right now. But my main piece of advice, if you get anything out of this video, is if you are going to China for the first time, being open-minded is the biggest thing. Just be willing to accept new ideas, new ways of how people talk to you, of how they act towards you. While you're there, I think that's the biggest thing. Just be open-minded and stretch yourself out of your comfort zone. Because when you step out of your comfort zone, that is when you start to learn things. You're not just sticking with what you're comfortable with. No, you're stretching your abilities and you're learning more. And I just think that learning things is like the most beautiful thing in life, like learning about other people, the way other people do things, and then you can take what you learned and incorporate it into your own life somehow to be able to be more convenient, to be able to communicate more efficiently with other people when you go back home. So there's just so many benefits to just traveling in general, and traveling to a country with completely different culture is just amazing. And I have the best time of my life. Like, I feel that when I'm in China, I learn something and I grow every single day. Whereas here, yeah, I have my routine and I do the same things all the time. But in China, it's all about growth every day, and I love having a challenge every single day. So anyway, I'm gonna stop talking about that because I just get too excited about how much you can learn from just going abroad. So I have one more thing that I just want to ask of you guys, because there's so many of you guys that just came and joined the channel, which I'm so thankful for. Thank you so much. I just hit 2,000 subscribers, which is literally absolutely nuts, because a month ago I was at like 800. So thank you. I want to take some time just to like talk to you guys and answer any questions that you might have. So if you do have any questions for me that you would like me to answer in another video, just leave them below in the comments and I will do my best to answer all of them in my next video. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you did like this video, make sure to like the video and please subscribe to my channel. Let's keep growing. Let's keep talking about culture and language and growing together, you know. I just hope wherever you are smiling and you're happy, because that's the most important thing in life. And if you are going to China, have a good trip, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye! I hate that so much.